Today's video. Today I'm doing a deep dive into the 2024 presidential elections. This video focuses on the state of Nebraska. Nebraska, a state that at the presidential level has been pretty much reliably Republican for a long time. However, its second congressional district has not been so much and is showing to be a very competitive district that may very well decide who will be the next president of the United States. So with that, let's get into the video. Nebraska, for the state at large, voted for Donald Trump by 19.1% of the vote in 2020. Nebraska in 2016 voted 25% more Republican for Donald Trump in 2016 by 25%. In 2012, Mitt Romney, the Republican, won the state of Nebraska by 21.8%. And looking at the current polling averages for the state of Nebraska, for statewide polling, there's not been any polling data done, so we're mainly going to be going off of election results from past elections as a means for what we think the 2024 prediction will look like in the state of Nebraska. But not for the second congressional district. We do have polling for that one. For the national popular vote in 2020, Joe Biden won overall by 4.4%. In 2016, Hillary Clinton won the popular vote by 2.1%. And in 2012, the popular vote was won by Barack Obama by 3.9% of the vote. In 2024, the current national polling average, as of the time I'm recording this video, has Kamala Harris up by 1.7%, which is the lowest out of 3 of the last elections, and is in half or double as low as the average margin of victory result of 3.5% across the last 3 elections. Looking at how Nebraska votes compared to the national vote, in 2020, Nebraska voted 23.5% more Republican than the nation. In 2016, Nebraska voted 27.1% more Republican than the nation. In 2012, Nebraska voted 25.7% more Republican than the nation, which is an average popular vote difference of Republican plus 25.4%. Meaning across the last 3 elections, Nebraska on average has voted 25.4% more Republican than the national popular vote. Nebraska statewide is unsurprisingly going to be a very Republican state, with Electoral politics having the state as solid Trump, Sabato's crystal ball having it as safe Trump, inside elections solid Trump, decision desk HQ in the Hill safe Trump, and Cook political report solid for Donald Trump, not surprising there. For Nebraska's 1st district and 3rd congressional district, Nebraska splits up its electoral votes into 2 electoral votes for the winner of the state and 1 electoral vote for the winner of each of the congressional districts. For the 1st and 3rd districts, they're all projected to be either solid for Donald Trump or safe for Donald Trump. No surprises there. The 2nd congressional district gets very, very interesting. Real Clear Politics has it as listed as toss-up. Sabato's crystal ball has it as likely for Kamala Harris. Inside Elections has it as lean for Kamala Harris. Decision Desk HQ and The Hill has it as likely for Harris. Cook Political Report has it as lean for Harris. Real Clear Politics is the only one to have it as a toss-up. Every other presidential forecast pollster that I'm using in this video has it as either lean or likely for Harris, certainly suggesting Harris has an early advantage in this district to win it on election night. And I'll be going into the key counties in 1 second and why that could be happening. So looking at some key counties in Nebraska. First, you have to talk about Douglas County, where the city of Omaha is located. And this is going to be one of the big reasons that 2nd congressional district has gone from a Republican district to a Democratic district. And Omaha, of course, one of the biggest growing cities in the state of Nebraska. It was Republican plus 3 in 2012, Democrat plus 2.4 in 2016, and 11.3% Democrat in 2020. And I'll be going over the county itself and the election results later on in the video, so I'll go into that more in depth as well. But right now, the 2 big counties of the 2nd congressional district in Nebraska is Douglas County and Sarpy County. That's why they're 1 and 2 for me. And Sarpy County has not really changed all that much from 2012 to 2016, only going down by 2 points. But from 2016 to 2020, it went down 10% of the vote, less Republican by a margin of victory. In 2016 to 2020, Douglas County went up 9% of the vote, more Democratic in that county. So the 2 big counties in that 2nd congressional district, do the math. There's more Democratic votes coming from a county that used to be Republican, was very close. Now it's more like a safe Democratic county. And the Republican county that is still a safe Republican county, but its margin in which it's been safe by has been cut in half. This is why we saw Donald Trump win this county on 2016's election night and lost it on 2020. The numbers just went basically cut in half, where Trump lost a lot of his support in this county and is gone to the Democrat Joe Biden in 2020. And the polling is going to suggest that Harris is likely to repeat that again in 2024. Lancaster County, this is where the city of Lincoln, the capital of the state, is, and a very similar trend where it was Republican plus 0.3 in 2012, Democrat 0.2 in 2016, and then Democrat 7.8 in 2020. For such a Republican state that Nebraska is, it's showing a lot of Democratic growth in the metro areas in the state, the two biggest being Omaha and Lancaster. Lastly, one other county I want to look at was Thurston County, which is more of a smaller but potentially toss-up suburban county. It was Democrat plus 13.9 in 2012, Republican plus 5.9 in 2016, and Republican plus 2.5 in 2020. This is an interesting one I'm watching because despite 2012, it was Republican 5.9, Republican 2.5. I'm very interested to see, does this county kind of follow a similar path of Douglas or Lancaster, where it gets more Democratic and potentially even flips on election night? So this is a very interesting one I'm watching closely. Looking statewide at the map for Nebraska, it was 58.2 to 39.2 in 2020 for Trump versus Biden. Trump won the state by a big margin, and I showed you these counties: Thurston County 50.8 to 48.3, Douglas 54.7 to 43.3, Sarpy County 54.3 to 43.1, and we have Lancaster County at 52.7 to 44.9. Now we look at 2016, it was 58.8 to 33.7, very similar in the percentages. Thurston 50 to 44, Douglas 47.3 to 45, Sarpy 56 to 34.8, and Lancaster 45.4 to 45.2. Now looking at Lancaster County, where Mitt Romney versus Barack Obama was 59.8 to 38, that was Lancaster, it was 49 to 48.7, Thurston 56.3 to 42.4, Douglas County 50.6, 47.5, Sarpy County 60.5 to 37.3. On the Republican side, for how Nebraska has voted in the last three elections, in 2020, Donald Trump got 58.2% of the vote. 2016, Trump got 58.8%. And in 2012, Mitt Romney got 59.8%. The Republican is still doing very well in Nebraska, and I fully expect Trump to get very high percentages in the state. But you can see a trend of the state going less Republican in each election, going down 1% from 2012 to 2016 and down another 0.6% from 2016 to 2020. If Nebraska remains consistent with how the trend has been, we can expect 2024 to be a little bit less than what 2020 was. The question is, just how much will Nebraska swing from 2020 to 2024, and will it be significant at all? That's what we're going to try and find out. For a range of the last three presidential elections in Nebraska, we can find on the Republican side the low end of about 56.6% of the vote to a high end of 61.4% of the vote, with the average vote across the last three elections percentage-wise is 58.9%. On the Democratic side, in 2020, Joe Biden got 39.2%, 2016, Hillary Clinton got 33.7%, and in 2012, Barack Obama got 38%. This has a range in the low end of 28.2 and a high end of 44.7. So there's really no danger statewide for the Republicans losing this state based on the average in the range. The Republicans are certainly favored to win this state. Average vote across the last two elections of 37% as well. On the second congressional district, however, this is where things get very, very interesting. In 2020, Joe Biden won this district by 6.6% of the vote. In 2016, Donald Trump won it by 2.2% of the vote. And in 2012, Mitt Romney won it by 7.1% of the vote. And this is following the same trajectory of the state itself, but more drastically. Every election since 2012, the district has gotten more and more Democratic. And based on the current polling average, which has Kamala Harris at 52.5, Donald Trump at 42.5, a 10-point lead for Vice President Harris, it is looking like in 2024, this district will be even more blue than it was in 2020, continuing the trend of it getting less and less Republican and more Democrat. That could be an influx of people moving to this district and to this metropolitan area, the surrounding suburbs area. It could be a problem with Donald Trump appealing to suburban voters and women voters in this area. There are multiple different theories and possibilities for why this is happening. But the numbers don't lie across the last 3 elections that this district has gotten less Republican and more Democrat. And it looks like 2024 that trend is going to continue. On the Republican side in the Nebraska 2nd District, in 2020, Trump got 45.7%, 2016 got 47.2%, and in 2012, Mitt Romney won a majority at 52.9% of the vote. So again, following that trend, Republicans doing worse in this district, especially with Trump on the ballot. In 2024, the estimated range was 38.5 to 60.1, based on the last 3 elections, with an average vote percentage of 48.6%. On the Democratic side, 2020, Joe Biden got 52.3%, a majority of the vote. 2016, Hillary Clinton got 44.9%, and 2012, Barack Obama got 45.7%. This gave a range on the low end of 37.5 and a high of 59.7, a very close competitive district that really the range would suggest is winnable by both candidates, by both parties. The average vote percentage of the last 3 elections of 47.6. Based off that, that's an average vote percentage of the last 3 elections difference of just 1%. That would certainly signify it's a very, very close matchup, very, very close election here, which either candidate being able to win it. However, the numbers seem to suggest it's moving in the Democrats' direction. So for my prediction for the state of Nebraska, in its 5 electoral votes, I project that Donald Trump will win the state statewide 57.9% to 39.7% for Kamala Harris, a margin of victory of 18.2% of the vote. 18.2%, that is about 0.9% less than what Trump got in 2020, continuing the trend of Nebraska slowly trending towards the Democratic side, not by a big amount, but trending to the Democratic side. The 1st congressional district I have going for Trump, as well as the 3rd district. The 2nd district, I do have it sticking in the Democratic side, with Kamala Harris winning that district, and I think the polling average is correct. I think she'll win it somewhere between 10 to 9% of the vote is where I think the district will end up being. Now looking at the 2024 electoral map, Kamala Harris picks up 1 electoral vote here, up to 97 electoral votes. Donald Trump picks up 4, up to 47% of the votes. So of the 5 electoral votes in Nebraska, 4 go to Trump, 1 go to Harris. Now the electoral map is 97 for Harris, 47 for Donald Trump, with long ways to go leading up to Election Day of me filling in every single state. The next state that will be up will be the state of Kansas, so please stay tuned for that. That'll be coming out in the not too distant future. In the meantime, please enjoy the sneak peek now of my 2024 full election night prediction. Please enjoy. It is now 9 p.m. on the East Coast, and we have a second huge poll closings of the night, including several key, very important battleground states. The states with their polls closing right now are Arizona, Colorado, Kansas, Louisiana, Michigan, Minnesota, Nebraska, New Mexico, New York, North Dakota, South Dakota, Texas, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. Now let's take a look at what projections we can make at this time. Next, we go to the state of Nebraska, which, like Maine, is the other state in the country that allocates its electoral votes by congressional district. 1 electoral vote for each district, and then 2 for the state at large. We can project that 4 of Nebraska's electoral votes have been won by former President Donald Trump, and 1 of Nebraska's electoral votes has been won by the Vice President Kamala Harris, specifically coming from the 2nd congressional district. That will do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to give it a like. And if you really liked it, please remember to click the subscribe button. And make sure you turn post notifications on so you always get notified when I post a new video. That way you never miss one. Also, please remember to share this video with your friends and family if you really like the video. And remember to stay tuned because I'll be posting at least 1 video every single day leading up until Election Day, so I'd really appreciate it if you keep coming back and watching those videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.